Behind every great business leader lies an interesting story. In West Africa, where small businesses fuel economies but face an enormous funding gap, one woman is changing the story. This is the journey of Adesuwa Okunbo Rhodes, founder and managing partner of Aruwa Capital Management. For Adesuwa Okunbo Rhodes, her journey to founding one of West Africa's most dynamic private equity firms began long before the world of finance. It started with a childhood shaped by resilience, opportunity, and an unshakable belief in the power of entrepreneurship. Born and raised in Nigeria, Adesuwa grew up in a family that understood both the promise and the challenges of building something meaningful in Africa. Her father, a respected businessman and philanthropist, exposed her early to the value of enterprise, discipline, and impact-driven leadership. From a young age, she showed a curiosity for numbers and an eye for business. Whether it was observing how money flowed in local markets or paying attention to how organizations were built, Adesuwa was already preparing for a future in finance. Adesuwa Okunbo Rhodes was born on the 16th of February 1990 in Lagos State, Nigeria. She began her early education at Chrisland Primary School in Apebi, Lagos, before enrolling at Atlantic Hall, where she completed 1 year of secondary school. At the age of 11, she relocated to England and continued her studies at St. Lawrence College, a boarding school in Ramsgate. Growing up, Adesuwa was exposed to diverse cultures and experiences, which broadened her perspective and shaped her ambitions. During her school years, she developed a strong interest in finance and investments, laying the foundation for what would later become a successful career in the financial sector. After completing her secondary education in England, Adesuwa Okunbo Rhodes went on to study Bachelor of Science in Economics at the University of Bristol, where she developed a strong foundation in financial systems, global markets, and investment strategy. While still at university, she began her finance career with Lehman Brothers in 2008. Upon graduating, she joined the J.P. Morgan London office in the mergers and acquisitions team, later moving to the leveraged finance division, where she worked on approximately 5 to 6 billion United States dollars worth of transactions across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. She then worked with TLG Capital, a private equity firm focused on Africa, where she gained further experience with PE transactions across Anglophone African countries. Around this same time, she pursued a master's degree in development economics at the University of Cambridge, sharpening her focus on how capital could be used not only to generate wealth, but to transform societies. This blend of economics and development thinking became the cornerstone of her future mission, bridging profit with purpose. Later, she returned closer to home, joining Renaissance Capital and eventually Syntaxis Capital Africa, where she gained hands-on experience in private equity across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. In 2014, she became co-founder and managing partner of Syntaxis Capital Africa, a growth capital fund supporting SMEs in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa, leading deals totaling over $200 million United States dollars. These roles taught her the mechanics of raising funds, structuring deals, and driving returns. But something was missing. In deal after deal, Adesuwa noticed a pattern. Female entrepreneurs were being overlooked, despite women driving a huge share of Africa's informal economy. Fewer than 2% of investment dollars were going to women-led businesses. The funding gap for small and medium enterprises across Nigeria and Ghana alone stood at $150 billion. Adesuwa realized that traditional finance wasn't built for these entrepreneurs, and so, in 2019, she decided to build something that was it. In July 2019, at age 29, she launched Aruwa Capital Management based in Lagos. But starting was no easy feat. With no capital raised yet, there were no management fees to pay salaries or cover expenses. Adesuwa personally funded operations, covering salaries, rent, and travel, while convincing global investors to back her vision. Eventually, her persistence paid off. Aruwa Capital Management closed its first fund at over $20 million, attracting heavyweights like the Visa Foundation and MasterCard Foundation's Africa Growth Fund. Alongside investors from Africa, Europe, and the United States. By 2025, Aruwa had raised $35 million for its second fund, aiming for a final close of $50 million. Today, Aruwa Capital is an early-stage growth equity fund with a gender lens and impact focus, which invests in established and rapidly growing businesses typically overlooked by larger funds. And Adesuwa Okunbo Rhodes is currently the founder and managing partner of Aruwa Capital Management, one of the few women-owned and managed growth equity funds in Africa, having over 15 years of investment, banking and private equity experience in developed and emerging markets from global institutions such as JP Morgan, through its investments. Aruwa Capital Management is backing some of the most dynamic and high-impact businesses across Africa, ones that not only scale fast but also deliver meaningful social change. Take MDaaS Global, founded in 2017, which is transforming access to affordable diagnostic healthcare in Nigeria and expanding into Cameroon. Aruwa's investment in 2024 powered the growth of its Beacon Health network, backed development of its proprietary platform Beacon OS, and enabled its expansion into new states and regions. In the consumer goods sector, Fastizers has journeyed from less than $1 in startup capital to becoming a multi-million-dollar snack brand. In 2023, Aruwa invested $2 million, allowing it to scale up production, broaden its reach, and sharpen its supply chain, all while advancing its status as a women-founded enterprise. Over in manufacturing, Yikodeen has become Nigeria's first large-scale safety footwear manufacturer, serving oil, gas, and industrial sectors. With Aruwa's investment of $1.5 million in 2025. Yikodeen upgraded its facilities, expanded production capacity, created jobs and supported local manufacturing, especially for women in the workforce. Now, OmniRetail is another powerful example. It is one of Aruwa's most successful investments. Founded in 2019, it's a B2B commerce and fintech platform digitizing supply chains for the informal retail sector. It is a platform that connects manufacturers and distributors to informal shopkeepers who account for more than 90% of Nigeria's retail sales. Through OmniRetail, a small Lagos shop can order stock on an app, receive delivery within 48 hours, and even access buy now pay later options. In 2025, OmniRetail raised $20 million in a Series A round, with Aruwa Capital among the investors. That capital is accelerating its expansion across Nigeria, Ghana, and Cape d'Ivoire, strengthening its embedded finance products, scaling its logistics and warehousing, and pushing deeper into the FMCG value chain. Each investment isn't just about financial returns, it's about scaling African solutions for African problems. Together, these investments epitomize what Aruwa Capital Management seeks: companies that blend strong growth potential with measurable social impact, whether through improving healthcare access, supporting women-led businesses, fostering local manufacturing, or uplifting informal retailers with tools and finance. But the road hasn't been smooth. Adesuwa admits to passing on opportunities that later became billion-dollar companies like Moove and Moniepoint. And the hardest part, fundraising. It's not for the faint-hearted, she says. Getting institutions to back your strategy takes years of trust, years of follow-ups. Sometimes I feel there aren't enough hours in the day, yet for her the rewards outweigh the struggle. Every deal closed, every company scaled, and every entrepreneur empowered proves the mission is worth it. From a young girl in Nigeria to a banker in London to a private equity pioneer in Lagos, Adesuwa Okunbo Rhodes has built more than a firm, she's built a movement. A movement that proves investing in African businesses, especially those led by women, is not just good economics. It's the future. This is the story of Aruwa Capital. This is the story of backing African businesses. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have learned something new. See you next time.